In this video, we're going to learn how to add buttons to our window and also see some of the common methods associated with buttons. So keep watching. So as you can see on the screen, we have a simple window with two buttons, an accept and a close button. Of course, they are unresponsive and you might wonder, how can I make them functional? But we'll keep that for upcoming videos. So let's get to the coding screen and add these two buttons. Hey guys, this is the code we've written in the previous video, which is basically going to create a simple empty window for us with a custom title and a custom icon. Right? So if you missed that, you can check the description and watch that previous video, or even you can access the entire playlist and make up those videos that you messed up so you never have any problems. Right? So let's get started and add two buttons to our app. So I would like to have two buttons on this window, an accept button and a close button. But before we get started, I would like to add another module here, and that is Q push button. So basically Q push button is going to help us create a normal button. So let's create a separate section here and I'll call it buttons. This is where I would like to create instances for my buttons. So button accept equals to Q push button. And then inside of this parenthesis, you're going to specify a string, and that is going to appear right over your button. So I'll say accept. Same goes for the close button. Button close, and then Q push button. So this is the Q push button, and I'm mistaken here. I accidentally used Q application. So this is also Q push button. So these are basically the two buttons that I would like to add to my window. So if I run this code, I still don't have those buttons right now, because for some reasons. The first reason is that I didn't specify the parent, or I didn't apply the show method. As I told you in the previous video, that each and every widget by itself is hidden, and you would need to use show method in order to make them appear. But if you specify a parent for a widget, then you don't have to repeatedly use show method. How? Let's see. Parent equals to window. And the same goes for this close button. So parent equals to window. So if I run this code, I've got a button at the top and it's just a close button. So I would like to position that at the bottom. So how we can move them? Well, we have a method called move, and now I can simply specify the position where I would like to place this button. So let's try 90 and suppose 140. These are basically X and Y variables, which are basically pixels. So as you can see guys, the accept button is now down here, but this is still not where I would like to place it. So I can change those two values. Let's go with 100, 110, and 160. So if I run this code and see, wow guys, this is the perfect position where I would like to have the accept button, and this close button, I would like to move it right here. So this is it. Let's do it, and let's move our second button. Button close, move. And let's specify the position. So let's go with 210, and that will remain the same. The Y value will remain the same. So if I run this code, guys, so these are the two buttons that I wanted to add to my window. As you can see, these buttons are still unresponsive. And to add functionality to these buttons, we'll do that in upcoming videos. So stick to the course, guys. Now, here's another thing I would like to add to these buttons, and that is changing these button colors, right? That's something I would like to work with. So how we can change our button color? Let me show you. We have a set style sheet method here. So I have an accept button. I would like to change its color. So dot set style sheet, and then you're going to write Q push button, and then you're going to use curly braces, and inside of them we're going to write background color, and now specify the color here. Suppose red. So this is it. If I run this code, let's see what happens. Sorry, I'm mistaken here. I forgot to put an R here. So guys, as you can see, I changed this button color and now it appears as a red button. So you can basically use any other color that you would like to use, but this is what I was just trying to show you. So that's how we can modify our button color. So I would now like to remove it. And now, how about changing the font of the text that appears over a button? So let's change the font of the text that appears on a button. So you need to import another module from Qt GUI, and that is QFont. In order to change the font style of the text that appears over a button, you need to create instances or an instance for QFont. So let's get started and work with changing font. So how can I do that? Well, I can specify an instance here, and that is button font, suppose, and then you're going to use QFont. So we're basically creating objects for QFont, which is basically a class, right? And now it takes arguments, and suppose I would like to use Georgia font, and you can also specify the size for that, and that is suppose 15, right? So if I run this code, but wait, button accept dot set font. So this is basically going to set the font for the text that appears over a button, and then inside of the brackets we're going to pass a button font. So let's see if it works or not. So guys, as you can see, I changed the font of a button, and that's how you can play with different fonts. And there are some methods that are associated with buttons. So these methods are basically used for specifying a fixed size for your buttons. And that's it, guys. That was all for now, but let's run the app again, final time. And this is what we've done in this video. So guys, that was all for now. Subscribe right now so you don't miss upcoming videos, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.